Sanmonani Dumelang Sin Chao. I am Judicious Masugu and welcome to Navigating the Streets of Life with Judy. I posted on my community page that I was going to talk with an expert who at least is knowledgeable when it comes to the hiring process, the challenges, and yeah, what it takes for one to make it in Vietnam or Cambodia. And that was Mr. Peter. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, Peter Gouge, or yeah, he's an Australian and he's currently back in Australia. He is the CEO on he's the founder and the director of the AVS ITESO that focuses on training teachers, training TESOL, and also placement. We had a chat, we had a 2-hour chat, and to be honest, I am blown away. First of all, I want to say, you guys, I love you. I really do. Like it comes from the bottom of my heart. The love you show me, and yeah, and I didn't know that I've got influence. I have recently, I think about a month ago, I posted I uploaded a video about teaching opportunities in Vietnam and Cambodia through AVSE, and apparently quite a number of people reached out to Mr. Peter and they were inquiring. Some people are interested, and yeah, we had such an fruitful and informative conversation, though I promised that he will be answering your questions. But I feel like today's meeting was not about that. So few questions were answered, and obviously in between the conversation, when they say read between the lines, so they were answered in between the conversation, but it was not a direct Q&A thing. And I want to say that the conversation made me feel good about myself. It was affirming. And remember, I think it was last week when I was giving an update of what's going on. I said I am praying for a word of direction from God. I need a word of direction from God, and I hear God speaking through the people. I hear God speaking through the podcast He is leading me to watch, and yeah, so this conversation was for me, and also it was for Mr. Peter. And yeah, business ideas were support some business ideas and all that. Things are promising. There's a future for this channel, you guys. There's a future for this channel. Me and God and you guys, we are going somewhere. So I am really excited and I'm happy about that. And thanks to you. Thanks for your support. I think in his words, he was like, when I watch your videos, I feel like coming and giving you a hug. So thank you so much, you guys, for supporting me and doing what you do. So I would like to answer a few questions. Some people, they asked a question about people from a non-English native speaker. Apparently he got a lot of inquiries from people from Nigeria, Cameroon, Congo, the West or East Africa, and also people from Eswatini. So those from Eswatini, I would like to know, how do you go about in apostilling your documents? I know some, they do it here in South Africa, but I want to know if if you had to get an opportunity to go and teach in Vietnam, how would you go about apostling? And yeah, and then from those from, this conversation was real, and Mr. Peter, like, I loved his honesty and all that. He touched on the issue of discrimination, that uh, for his program, it's okay, you can do the TEFL certificate, but when it comes to placement now, it becomes difficult for them to place African, for the obvious reasons that are racism. And yeah, Vietnamese can be, I feel like all over the world, black people are like at the bottom. So we are, most of the people, they see us, they see, assume that nothing good can come out of Africa, nothing good can come out of yeah, the African countries and the black African people. Obviously, representation, we are not represented well in the media, or there's less minimal representation in the media. So ignorance, not being exposed, lack of knowledge, lack of exposure, uh, are the reasons for that. So he expressed that sometimes he's skeptical to take people from Africa just because of how they are going to be received and treated by the employers, And also last week, I think I published a video about the obsession about American accent. Unfortunately, employers, leaders of the school, they are looking for people with the pronunciation and accent from the West, and also our skin color is not helping. So it really becomes difficult. And then I asked on the issue of chronic diseases such as HIV and AIDS. And for the program, they don't do medicals, but now the employment, for you to get an employment visa or a work visa in Vietnam, you need to go through medical checkups. And I don't remember on my case, I just went to the hospital, I knew blood were drawn and all that. So I never really looked at it as to what specific things they checked. All I was interested in was my blood type, of which I saw my blood type. And yeah, I think HIV was checked as well when I went through the thing. Now the results, HIV was checked as well, so they do check for HIV. And he also expressed that that can sometimes work against you. They can discriminate against you, uh, so it's not easy for the people living with chronic diseases. There is no there is no legal whatsoever that says you can't hire people with HIV status, but then now the discrimination come into hand. So yeah, you guys, I will insert some of the clips of our conversation, and yeah, you will see. So it was more of about me, my YouTube channel, the impact I have, and yeah, and also yeah, catching up with Mr. Peter. So after this, it's gonna be like some clips. I will take out some of the things that we discussed because they are still on the pipeline. But yeah, see you, bye. for me, I never. Okay, I identified. I saw it from a distance from my counterparts, but it was not directed to me. So I guess there was no need for me to deal with it. At the school where I was teaching, it was great for me. I had a great experience. I was in Viet An in Kamau City. Okay, let me. First of all, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me, and it's always good to see you. And I have to say that I am so sorry for your loss, and I am so sorry for what you are currently going through. And I want to assure you that believe in the business that you have started, believe in the service that you are providing, because I am a testimony. AVS Etasol was my breakthrough to the international teaching. That's where I gained my confidence. That's where I got the skill. So the school is forever dearest to my heart. So do not worry. Everyone was affected by COVID, but eventually things are going to pick up. I know you mentioned that you don't have the energy now that you had 10 years ago. Yes, but it is doable. And also, one thing I have to commend you about is your work ethic and your human nature. Remember what happened in my case? I opted to submit the assignment later. So I finished the training and the practicals, and I opted to submit the assignment later. Later I submitted, but there was something happened, and then I emailed you because I was dealing with Mary, remember? And Mary, brilliant lady. She's got good interpersonal skills, and she's a people's person. So I emailed you to say that I am worried because I submitted my assignment, my TESOL has not arrived, and all that. And you intervene in the situation. You arrange for them to courier my TESOL free of charge. We're supposed to pay for the courier if we finish later, unless we submit everything during the training. So you were like, okay, Judy, I'm so sorry for the delay, and I will pay for the courier myself, and I will make sure that you get the fastest service. And indeed, you did that. So thank you so much for your work ethic. Thank you so much for your professionalism. And thank you so much for your human nature. You relate to people. Just now you mentioned that sometimes you are skeptical to accept the people from the Middle, coming from Central Africa, Middle Africa, because you know that they're gonna feel comfortable, hopeful during the training and feel at home. But now when it comes to employers, they experience this racism. It shows that you are not only business oriented, but you care for the people. So I want to commend you for that, and thank you for that. And those skills are the skills that are needed in a business. So it may not, the sun may not be shining today, but eventually with the qualities and the traits that you possess, things will align again. Yes. Mm.
and then not deliver on commitments. Because, not because I don't want to, but because I'm only one person and the market is the market.
Yeah.
This is the dilemma that I have. If there is a way to deal with that somehow, it would be like a new tomorrow, not just for us, but and for me in terms of like feeling good about our work.
Thank you so much for bringing that idea. It is welcome. I am always for opportunities and for ideas. I will think about it and see what can work, you know, based on my skills and my capabilities, and also obviously looking into consideration your brand as well, because I need to be able to blend well with your brand so that we can put out a good thing out there, you know. As you have mentioned that you are for pathways, creating pathways for people, that's my thing as well. It fulfills me when I know that I gave you a pathway, I opened a door for you. So I guess our principles and our values, they do align, but in terms of the execution part and on the how part, I will look at the, yeah.
Your persona on YouTube, people want to come up and give you a hug. Even now, people want to come and give you a hug.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of love I receive. I receive a lot of love. Like it's in abundance from YouTube.
When are you going to get married?
When am I gonna get married? When God allows, and when I find the right partner and I am ready and I see I can do it for longer, because I don't want to get married for getting divorced. I want to know that when I'm getting married, I'm in for it.
Where is your home country?
My home country is South Africa.
Okay.
It's gonna cut us off. Are we going to come back, or? That was a long chat. I'm trying to see if I can join the meeting again. Yes.
Highly professional. Very engaging.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And she told me that she was going to opt for the online class, and then she will fly to Vietnam for the 9 days of practicals. Yes. She consulted with me. Yeah.
I suggested to her that she might want to talk with you in order to get the full picture about what it's like in Vietnam for an African person and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Alright, so you've already spoken with her. I mean, what was your opinion when you spoke with her? What were you thinking?
My opinion of her, I saw someone who is determined. She's determined to get what she wants, and she is doing the work. What impressed me is that she's doing the work. Firstly, she met me on YouTube, and then she went to my Facebook or my Instagram. She requested for my number so that she can call me on WhatsApp for a video call, and then we eventually met on video call and we spoke. I saw someone who is ready, who's got a passion for this, who wants to go out there and make an impact and also fulfill her dream. So for me, she is a tick.
Yeah. So I agree with you, and I'm glad that she reached out to you because she is a very good example of the kind of person. And many people from Africa.
That is so true. Let me give you a true story. So when I completed my course, I went to a small city in the south called Kamau, and I guess I was the first black person they saw. I remember I went to a Montessori class. I'm not sure if it was Montessori or kindergarten. And when I got in, all the kids, they cried and ran away. And it was like, you know, and when I was walking like in the street, people would come and touch my hair and my skin. So I was the first person. There's no representation. And some of them were scared to come and talk to me, but eventually I was friends with all the people in the streets. They would come and practice their English with me and all that. Some they will offer me vegetables, food, want me to try Vietnamese cuisine. All right. Okay, thank you so much. And for South African, I know with South African it's easier to get a visa in Vietnam as a South African. I wanted to ask because most people they reach out to me in terms of medical checks. How's the policy? What is the policy regarding like chronic diseases such as HIV and AIDS? Do they discriminate against those? Do you take people with diagnosed with chronic diseases?
Yeah. On our application form for a GSOL program, we don't ask people about
Yes.
chronic diseases because there are privacy implications, and because we're mainly, although we operate in Vietnam, we're actually governed by Australian law because our company structure is in Australia.
Yes.
So anything that remotely resembles discrimination against anyone, the Australian government will just cut me like that. So
Yeah.
we don't ask people about chronic diseases. What I do ask is, do you have a medical condition that you feel that we should know about that might inhibit your ability to work as a teacher? And then people can volunteer it or not volunteer it. But then you're right, part of the work permit process is you need to go for a health check. And it's conducted in Vietnam. And it's not that intrusive, but if you're a HIV positive person and your situation is managed by medication, I can't guarantee that they won't discriminate against you. My thinking is that they probably will. And again, it's out of ignorance. So if someone had a chronic disease, like a communicable disease, they're very welcome to do my TESOL program, but I wouldn't guarantee them that they would get a work permit and related visa. During the COVID time, of course, you've got all these a whole bunch of people who, for their own reasons, didn't want to get vaccinated. None of my business. You know, I got vaccinated because I thought it was important. They don't want to. They don't think it's important, or it goes against what they believe. Perfect. Nothing to do with me. But I know that when they went for an interview at a school will say to them, are you COVID vaccinated? And they can say, well, I don't want to tell you. And I would understand why they would say that, but that would be enough not to be employed. And at that time, it would be enough not to get a work permit. Different now, there's no legal requirement in Vietnam for anyone to declare vaccination status, or whether they've had COVID or nothing like that anymore. Same in Cambodia. But if they were asked and they said I didn't have COVID vaccination, there's a high chance they'd be discriminated against.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I, I'm trying to remember. I remember I did a medical check, but I'm not sure whether they checked for HIV or not. I don't remember. All I went to the hospital and then they sent my results and everything. So I don't remember checking whether they did check because they drew blood and all those. They did the blood test and all that. So I'm not sure whether they did check for HIV and AIDS or not.
I haven't had one for years and years and years, a medical check-in for work permit purposes, but I'm guessing that they
Yeah.
homosexual. Um, we've had, well, maybe half a dozen lady boys come through our program, right? And it doesn't bother me, it doesn't affect me. People do what they want to do with their life, and if I had a peg before they came, I would tell them, you need to know that, yeah, that I can't promise you that you're not going to experience overt discrimination, but I have noticed that over the years, it's markedly more like the Philippines. In the Philippines, no one cares what you are.
Yeah.
It could be black, white, green, lesbian, you could be a bozo the clown. People just accept you for who you are, and if they are aware of someone engaging in overt discrimination, they're going to be told, pull your head in, right? He might walk around in a dress, but that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more, but the barriers are breaking down. The black white thing, or the Asian thing, like if you've got a teacher from Malaysia who comes to work in Vietnam, it's a minefield. Why would we employ another Asian person? We could
True.
employ that Asian person for $3 an hour.
I remember in our program we had people from, so in my group there were people from America, South African were two, one from Ukraine, one from Japan, two from India, and three from the Philippines. I think the Filipinos and the one from Japan struggled a bit to get a job.
Yeah, yeah. The Filipinos now much easier, but a Japanese person, we've got a Chinese guy at the moment who wants to do our course from Hong Kong. Yeah, and I'm telling him straight that Vietnamese have got a thing about Chinese people.
True.
It'll be really, really difficult for you to get a job as an English teacher. You'd be better targeting or directing your energy at getting a job as a Chinese teacher, because there are plenty of places around Ho Chi Minh City that need people who speak Chinese. But he's insistent on being an English teacher, and his pronunciation's pretty poor. But he is a lovely guy, so see what happens with him. Okay, I need to go, Miss Judicious. It was lovely to talk with you.
Okay.
Seriously.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. I feel like I've learned a few things during this conversation, and if that means that there is an opportunity for at least one person, well then that's got to be a good thing. Bye for now.
Bye. Have a good day.